and very windy at Sullivan Stadium, Foxborough, Mass. Where today the Seahawks go against the Patriots. Both these teams come in at 7-6. Both playoff contenders. New England needs to win its last 3 to hope to get in as a wild card. Seattle's chances much better. They control their future, or could. If they win their last 3, they would win the AFC West. Good afternoon, everyone. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. On a day when Mother Nature's the force both these teams have to contend with, winds are gusting up to 40 miles an hour. Trump, we could see a 70-yard field goal going one way today. But both teams like to run the ball, then run it some more, and this is the day to do it. They have terrific backs.
Yeah, especially for Seattle. Last week, 2 running backs over 100 yards, John L. Williams and Kurt Warner. They combined for 247 yards rushing, 51 carries. And on a day when you're against the wind, even though Dave Kreig last week had those 5 touchdown passes, those 2 kids are going to be busy this afternoon for Seattle.
I talked to Doug Flutie a short time ago on the field. He said he's played in worse weather conditions, more wind here as a collegian at Boston College. He said you have to try at least to put it out of your mind, because you can't be controlled by the wind. It's going to control you. You can't do anything about it.
Don, when you have the kind of wind we have here today and the temperature, that football is a rock. But the good thing that I think the New England Patriots have in the person of Doug Flutie is that he basically is a third running back for the New England Patriots. So he's a threat to runs anytime he's back there in a position of quarterback.
There is Steve Largent, the great receiver for the Seahawks, who will not play today. A strained foot, suffered in that last win over the Raiders on Monday night at the Kingdome. Keeps Steve Largent out today. Paul Scanzi, who, like Largent, caught a touchdown pass in that game against the Raiders, will start. But how much either team will be throwing remains to be seen. Seattle has won the toss, Trump, and the Patriots will receive. Seattle's going to take the win to start out. Smart move.
Yeah, Chuck Knox, his first big decision of the day. Now, what that does for Seattle is they get the win to start the football game, and they put the decision in the hands of New England to start the second half. This is a leg up for Seattle, and when you're in conditions like this, and we expect gusts of up to 40 miles an hour, field position so vitally important in a game like this.
There is Chuck Knox. He said we're a very ordinary football team right now. Chuck Berry's team has to win its way in. Their 4-game win streak was ended last Sunday at Indianapolis. A missed field goal in the closing seconds by Starowski allowed the Colts to come away with a 3-point win, 24-21. This kickoff by Norm Johnson might go into the stands. He has the wind at his back, and the flags are straight out. Sullivan Stadium is sold out, and this kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. The Seahawks and the Patriots have had some sensational games in recent years, with big rallies in the fourth quarter, bringing teams from behind. We'll review some of those great games in the past, but right now we get to the moment as the kickoff spins downfield, and 2 yards into the end zone and running it out is Sammy Martin. A week ago, he ran one back 95 yards on the opening kickoff for a 6-pointer, but today he only gets to the 12-yard line. So the Patriots, facing the elements, going into that gusting wind, start with the long field to go at their 12. Doug Flutie at quarterback, Robert Perryman and John Stevens, the running backs, and they'll get a lot of work today. Stevens having an extraordinary rookie year with 3 games to play. He's already over 900 yards rushing. Stanley Morgan at wide receiver goes to number 500 with his next reception. Offensive line, the strength of this team. They just blow people away and off the ball. Seattle's defensive front is not big. It's quick, though. And Seattle fills the gaps nicely to make the knockdown on John Stevens, the rookie runner from Northwestern State in Louisiana. Joe Nash, the nose tackle, who played at Boston College, made the stop. He's flanked by Jacob Green, who lays under 250. And the other defensive end is Jeff Bryant. Darren Como starts for Brian Bosworth, who is still troubled by that ailing shoulder. He underwent surgery, missing now his 3rd game. Taylor and Jenkins at the corners. Taylor banged up in the Raider game, but he's in there to start. For the run now on 2nd down and 7, and Stevens has a problem as Seattle is well positioned again, shooting the gaps to stop the inside running game of New England. Stop made by Jeff Bryant.
Don, this is an offense that's very unpretentious. They run almost exclusively right behind Bruce Armstrong, the offensive right tackle. And when they run left, they pull Bruce Armstrong. Now, he's a young man out of Louisville that they have great confidence in.
He
going to see it the entire day. That's Wooten and Armstrong. That's the strong side of their offensive line.
Tough call for Flutie now. 3rd down and 4 into the wind. He's going to put it up. Takes a look. The ball is tipped, and it's caught by a lineman. That's a live ball, and he's ahead for perhaps a 1st down. Sean Farrell, the left guard, got a tip ball. That's a live ball. Anybody can catch it. Sean Farrell from Penn State did. And so on a block pass, the Patriots get a 1st down.
I'm sure that's his first NFL reception, and it goes for a 1st down. It looks like Jeff Bryant, 77, the man up the middle, is the one that's able to get his hands up. Let's see. Well, there's the hand up in his face. I can't really pick up the number. I think it's Joe Nash, 72, out of the Boston area. He bought 55 tickets for family members today. Watch 72 get his hand up just at the last minute right there.
That's the live action. John Stevens looks to run, turns the corner, and flashes out to the 25-yard line. So the Patriots on a 1st and 10 get their best gain of the game so far. That was close to a 7-yard run.
Again, when you watch that tip ball, watch the right hand of Joe Nash finally come away from Wooten, the offensive guard. You'll just see the ball slapped against his hand. Farrell makes the reception for a 1st down, and the drive continues for New England. They got to be very conservative here, stay with that running game, and they need to come up with 3rd down and very short. So these first 2 downs, very critical in this opening drive for New England.
That's where they have the ball position. Is going to be 2nd down and 8. And here now is the handoff. Is running straight ahead very well as Robert Perryman, a free ball, and the Seattle Seahawks have it. Now the Patriots turn it over early. Jeff Bryant looked like he popped the ball free, and David Wyman, an inside linebacker, made the recovery. So Seattle makes a big play early.
On this Seattle defense allowing 4.7 yards a rush coming into the game, but it looks like Joe Nash is the guy who, no, he runs by Joe Nash. I can't pick it. It looked like Jeff Bryant made the hit there. Ball loose.
Here's a point drop you cannot emphasize enough. The chill factor on the field now with the sun shining brightly has got to be below 0. And it's going to get a lot colder as soon as the sun starts to drop. Pitch back. Running with the ball, John L. Williams. And Williams passes down to the 25-yard line. His 1st down carry, good for about 4 yards. Knockdown made by inside backer Johnny Rembert and free safety Fred Marion. There's the offensive alignment for the Seahawks. Kreig back at quarterback, and not coincidentally, they've won the 2 games since he's been back. Kurt Warner and John L. Williams having a terrific year as running backs. Gansey in for Largent at wide receiver. Brian Blades has been in the end zone with 6 touchdown receptions as a rookie. Offensive line getting Pro Bowl play from right guard Brian Millard. No score. Here is the pitch back. Warner stuck hard by Andre Tippett and thrown back. And a 2nd and 8 play. A gain of maybe 1.5 yards or 2. That was all.
On this New England defense, very good against the run. Last week allowed Eric Dickerson about 45 yards rushing. And I like this nose tackle, Tim Goad, a rookie who was considered too small, too slow, and all those things. And all he's done is he's going to make the all-rookie team.
After some injury problems, Garen Veras, the Patriots' best defensive lineman, is back in at right end. He'd been out since October 26th when he injured his knee against Buffalo. 3rd down as a draw play is called, and Kreig is stuck hard right at the 30. On a 3rd and 6 play, Garen Veras hit him. So a called quarterback draw. Kreig did not want to risk putting it up. It'll be a long field goal, but really in this weather it's not long because Johnson just gets it in the air and the wind will take it this far.
They remove the middle linebacker, Johnny Rembert, with motion. Kreig goes back for the quarterback draw, but he runs right into Garen Veras. If he runs right, he's still running.
A 46-yard field goal for Norm Johnson, who's had an excellent year, has hit 17 of 21 field goals. Jeff Kemp is the holder with Largent sideline. Largent's inactive. Kick is on the way.
Go.
It is wide right. So excellent opportunity from Bernard for Seattle. And now I'll tell you this, a team that comes to this in the Kingdome is really going to pay a price. It's painful out there. That's how bad that... Clear and sunny, but very cold, and the chill factor way down because of winds gusting up to 40 miles an hour. The last time the Seahawks and the Patriots played, it was a thriller, and that was in '86 when in the fourth quarter, Seattle scored 17 straight points in a span of 138 to come from behind and win the game. 38-31. Patriots getting out of jail there as the Seahawks with the fumble recovery could not convert to points. In the first quarter, New England running into the win. And here's a handoff to John Stevens. Both hands on the ball as he runs on first down for a gain of 6. Knocked down on the play by nose tackle Joe Nash.
Joe Nash defensively forced.
On the scoreboard, McFadden's just kicked a field goal for the Giants. They lead Phoenix 3-0. Nothing much yet up on the board. As we're early in the first quarter at the 1 o'clock starts, Detroit has gone up on Green Bay 3-0. You really wonder, Trump, if there'll be any points scored at the end of the field that the Patriots are driving to, unless there's a big run. There's Joe Nash, who apparently was banged up, being attended to on the sideline. It's second down and a long 4. Stevens breaks the crush. And Stevens gets across the 40 and out to about the 42-yard line. First down.
Not on that last run. Joe Nash is double teamed here by Farrell and the center Mike Babb.
First down.
Can't really see anything except maybe he got leg whipped. Nash has got 6 brothers and 6 sisters, and they're all here today watching him play. He is returning to the area where he grew up.
Free agent who's been to the Pro Bowl. End off to Perryman. He fumbled his last carry, not this time on first down. Robert Perryman, a big back from Michigan in his second year in the NFL, gets across the 45 out to the 47. He gained about 6 yards on first down.
Ken Clark now at nose tackle, replacing Joe Nash. And if the Seattle Seahawks defensively have a problem, their talent is at their linebackers, but their defensive line's downsized. They don't ever walk on the field on Sunday without being thoroughly overmatched size-wise.
8 plays so far, Trump, for New England. Run has dominated. They've run the ball 7 times. This is second down and 4. Stevens cutting back, puts his head down and gets him out across midfield. And he's down to the 45-yard line of Seattle. The Seahawks' single biggest failing is an inability to stop the run. Opposing offenses are averaging 4.7 yards a rush against them over the season.
And that you got to blame on the defensive line. You can see how everyone's trying to deal with the cold. That's a New England Patriot. I think that's their kicker, Starosky, trying to keep his legs warm on the sideline.
This New England back to the future offense. The old-time running game has really made the wide receivers bit players. Only Pryor is in as a wideout now as they go with double tight ends. Stevens lost his footing cutting back. He might have gotten a lot. He did get a first down on third and less than a yard. David Wyman was in to make the tackle for the Seahawks.
One thing you like about this Stevens kid, first-round draft choice out of Northwest Louisiana, he's got that forward body lean. 29 yards now on 7 carries. And the New England Patriots' fortunes have really changed since they began giving the ball to John Stevens on a regular basis. First 7 games, he averaged just 12 yards, 12 carries a game. Last 6 games, 25 carries a game. And the Patriots are 4-2 in those 6 games. Nash back in the ball game.
Nose tackle for the Seahawks. First down and 10. Hand off to Perryman. He takes on tacklers and gets ahead for maybe 2 or 3 yards. Hit hard by the Seahawks. Bruce Schultz, the veteran outside linebacker from Texas, was the first to pop him, number 58.
Nash back in at nose tackle, a very busy place. He's facing Mike Babb, acquired from Cleveland. The nose tackles generally play blind. When they look for the ball, that's when they get up too high, and that's when they get blown off the line of scrimmage. Joe that time was looking for the running back. So far, Patriots in this drive, 6 plays, all runs, to no one's surprise. They are against the wind.
First quarter, 6:35 to play in it. No score. Second down and 7. Hand off John Stevens. Good cutback move, and this 222-pound back Cuts ahead. Penalty marker comes in from the umpire. Probably a holding call against New England as Tony Woods, an outside backer, made the stop for Seattle.
Defensively.
Referee is Tom Dooley.
Holding 68 out there. Second man.
Mike Babb, the center, who's meant a lot to the Patriots since he's come here in a trade with the Cleveland Browns. He's really tightened up the offensive line at a position where they needed it. That time he's caught for holding, and so the ball is set back to the 48-yard line now of New England.
Yeah, he's on Joe Nash, too, the nose tackle. Nash is playing in front of the hometown folks, and he's going to try to do the best job he can here. Not had a particularly great year for Joe Nash. Went to the Pro Bowl a couple, 3 years ago. But this defensive line is coming out for a minute. This defensive line of Seattle needs a little more meat on them. And they're also not deep.
Say it, Trump, the team that gets behind in this game could be in trouble. Anybody forced to pass has got great difficulty facing them. Handoff goes, and breaking it open is Perryman. On a second down and long play, Robert Perryman is back across midfield, down to the 46-yard line of Seattle. Tackled by David Wyman again, his fourth tackle of this young game.
That time, the Seahawks came with their pass rush set. You see Jacob Green. They're expecting the pass. Nice block up front by Armstrong and by Wooten. Perryman scoots through there. Still brings up 3rd down and 10. I think if I'm New England, I continue to run it, and I'd look for Doug Flutie here. Roll out, sprint out.
Let's see, 3rd down and 10 coming up. Flutie's only pass of this game was tipped by a Seahawk and then caught by one of his linemen. Pitch forward. Running with the ball, but not very far, is Irving Fryer, and he's short of the first down as he gets to about the 39-yard line of Seattle. In the warm-ups, people punting the way New England's going now, so the ball stop in midair and just fall.
Shovel pass by Doug Flutie. Fryer in the backfield. They kind of option off the defensive end. Tony Woods. Woods, good active linebacker, able to get back and assist on the tackle. Not enough for a first down, 4th down.
Bobby Joe Edmonds is back, and his job is not easy. He'll probably let it roll unless it's right to him. It's very, very hard to read the ball. You'll be amazed at what this ball is going to do now. It'll take off all right, and then it won't go anywhere. High punt, end over end. It stops, and Bobby Joe Edmonds lets it roll, and the Patriots will down it at about the 11-yard line of Seattle. Too tough to handle. Edmonds with a good decision. Ernest Gibson down the ball, and Seattle goes on offense for a second time in a moment. No place like home for the Patriots. You see what they've done here in Foxborough, only losing to Buffalo here.
How about Doug Flutie's record here?
8-0 coming in as a starter. 5-0 at Boston College. 3-0 as a Patriot. Flutie told me before the game, Trump, he quarterbacked a night game here as a junior against Alabama. Temperature was 15 degrees. The winds were at least this strong, and it was snowing, and he threw 30 times. I said, you hit? And he said, yeah, I got some.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think at this point in the game, both teams are finding out exactly what they still can do with this wind. Doesn't show there on the field, but wind is gusting 25 to 30 miles an hour.
And I'll tell you, to stand down in it like the players are on the sideline, it is punishing. A huge American flag straight out. Seahawks going with the wind at their back, and here is a throw and a catch by John L. Williams, the leading receiver this season for the Seahawks. That's his 40th catch.
He almost dropped that one, too.
Andre Tippett and Ed Reynolds, two of the Patriot linebackers, stopped. Look at that shot of the flag. That's a huge flag.
John L. Williams out in the flat had to catch that ball twice. Caught it the first time, and then it slipped away from him. I'm telling you, in this kind of situation weather-wise, that ball is an absolute brick. The leather surface of that is what the receivers try to compress when they catch it. You can't. You just can't do it.
You've been there. Now it's 2nd down and 4. No score first quarter. 4:14 to play in it. Pitch back. John L. Williams looks to turn the corner. Greg Marion is having a big year. Came up from the free safety. Played the run very well. Number 31, Roland James, the other safety, was also on the play.
Don, you notice what New England is doing? Really cheating those inside linebackers right up to the line of scrimmage. Now, what that's doing, as we look at the ticker, what that's doing is making Seattle block one-on-one with everybody at the line of scrimmage. And there's always an extra guy there to make the tackle.
Tough down now. As we see Miami on front, Lorenzo Hampton just scoring for the Dolphins. To get in, the Patriots need to win their last 3 and have Cleveland and the Colts lose at least 1. They're down a long 5 as Kreig takes a look, gets it away, and it's caught nicely, but short of the first down. Crossing pattern. Coming down the ball with rookie Brian Blades. But he's not close to the first down as the zone defense came up and popped him, and now Seattle has to punt the ball.
Patriots that time came with a 5-man rush. Andre Tippett, one of the premier linebackers in the game, he gets down as a defensive end. He's on Mike Wilson's 75. You can see the 5-man rush. Kreig has hurried just a little bit. So far, this decision to take the win for Seattle has not worked in their favor, Don.
Ruben Rodriguez could have a career punt today as he's going with the strong wind at his back, hits it downfield, kind of a knuckleball, but it carries down. Fielded nicely by Irving Pryor. The return set right. Clocker's there, coverage is good, and Irving Pryor gets the ball close to midfield. So the Patriots will have their 3rd possession, starting from very near to midfield. 2:35 first quarter, and still no score. The play selection, as you see, an overwhelming dominance, particularly for the Patriots with the running game. Seattle even on passes and rushes, only because their rushes didn't get very far. Now the Patriots set out. 1st and 10 at their 49-yard line. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at Foxborough. Quick out. Goes to Stanley Morgan. And the Seahawks alertly quickly on the ball. It might have been a lateral depending on where he was positioned.
They were trying to slip screen. Bruce Schultz is out there to make the tackle. That is considered a lateral. So the New England Patriots have to recover it. And that's a very tough pass to catch. Flutie takes 1 step away from the center and just fires it out there. And that is very, very difficult to handle. Morgan's very lucky that he hangs onto the football. Already had 1 turnover from New England Patriots.
You see where he stands in his great career. 1 more catch, he gets to 500. Only 1 scoring chance so far in the game. Seattle had it after recovering a fumble, but Norm Johnson with the wind at his back was wide with a 46-yard field goal attempt. Flutie hands to Stevens. Not much there. Double back move, and then he cuts ahead. And on 2nd down and 15, he got about 3.
Paul Moyer, the strong safety, makes the tackle. Don, it's almost as if each team is doing the same thing defensively, and that is daring the offense to throw the football down the field. You see the strong safety and the linebackers cheating the line of scrimmage. Neither team willing to take a chance of throwing the ball too much down the field. Patriots against the wind.
Paul Moyer calling signals in the huddle for Seattle. Having a big year. 6 interceptions at strong safety.
Again, now you got to watch Flutie as a ball carrier, not just a thrower.
3rd down and 13. Flutie lets it rip. He's got him in. He throws a strike to Stanley Morgan. Getting the ball into the wind. Flutie said before the game, you got to keep the spiral as tight as you can and throw hard. And he delivers an 18-yard strike into the wind to Stanley Morgan. And as you see, for Stanley Morgan, his 500th career reception, 21st all time.
Good protection by the offensive line. Shotgun. Flutie's looking all over the field. Taylor is the man in coverage. That's a well-thrown ball by Doug Flutie against the wind.
Flutie and the Patriots will work at their leisure now and let the first quarter run out so they have their wind at their back with a scoring opportunity. There is Stevens breaking the clock, and John Stevens is down inside the 25-yard line.
He is a load.
First-round draft choice, a 6'1", 220-pound back. People start swinging after it's over.
This is the kind of offense that Raymond Berry has wanted on this team for a number of years. When they went to the Super Bowl, they were a tremendous running football team, but in the last couple of years, they've become a finesse team. Now with John Stevens, they're back to...
The wind continues to blow hard at Foxborough where there's no score, but in the first quarter the advantage might be New England's, Trump, because Seattle went with the wind at their back and got nothing with it.
They had 1 scoring opportunity. That was after the turnover by the New England Patriots, and Norm Johnson missed the field goal. So now the advantage does fall, I believe, to New England. They've established their running game at the beginning of that first quarter. Seattle's had trouble running the ball, so even though Chuck Knox was trying for a slight advantage for field position in that first quarter, it did not work.
First quarter numbers, Seattle with just 11 yards total offense. New England with the dominance, but New England was working at a big, enormous disadvantage going into the win. A disadvantage each team, of course, will face twice during the game.
I'm not so sure New England's personality changes with the win. They're still going to give it to John Stevens. They're still going to give it to Robert Perriman. They're still going to run it a lot more than they throw it with Flutie at quarterback.
And this, Trump, could be a day, if it should ever go to overtime, where the team that wins the flip wouldn't take the kick. Correct. They take the win. First down and 10, New England, as we open the second quarter of play. Now the Patriots have the wind behind them as Stevens takes on tacklers and gets to the 21-yard line. A gain of about 3 yards on the play. The Giants, who can win their way into the playoffs with a 10-0 lead on Phoenix. Washington up on Philadelphia. Cincinnati holding to a 3-point lead on San Diego. Nothing up there.
72, Joe Nash being on the play defensively.
Detroit looking to beat the Packers for the second time in 3 weeks. Miami continues to lead the Colts. Second down and 7. Doubleheader game today on most of these NBC stations. Denver and the Raiders at Los Angeles. Pitch back. Robert Perriman. On second down and about 8. He gets down close to the 15-yard line. Gain on the play. Makes it third down and 2 as the free safety, Eugene Robinson, got him.
On the offensive line of the New England Patriots overpowering the defensive line of the Seattle Seahawks. You can see the gap right there. Wyman is a good 5 yards down the field. Jeff Bryant is handled. Perriman on that little pitch. A nice pickup. Again now New England with third down and short. They are winning the battle at the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 2 New England. No score early in the second quarter. Flutie to Stevens. Good D by Seattle as they shoot the gap. They had the run defense called. Nash again with a big play. Bouncing off the center to make the stick. This game heating up after the whistles.
Nash to this point having a great ball game. He's beating the center, Mike Babb, with quickness. We'll see him once again top of the screen. It's an influence. The center pulls away, but Joe Nash, knowing what the offense does, stay right with the running back to make the tackle. And here comes Jason Starosky. Has had all kinds of problems making field goals. Last week had the opportunity against Indianapolis to tie the game, send it in overtime, and missed.
They have 2 field goal kickers here. As you see, there's not many been kicked by the Patriots this year.
Starosky was kicking before the game, and every time he got one through, the fans in the end zone were cheering.
Dolphin fans were wondering if the former Patriot kicker, Tony Franklin, wasn't still working for New England. Here's the field goal. It is up, and it is good. So Starosky hits a 34-yarder. Not only does it get him off the schneid and give him a 3-point lead, it's a big confidence booster. New England goes out in front 3-0.
This was Starosky's chance to tie the score last week against Indianapolis at the end of the game. He missed and missed badly, hooked it. And today his first kicking opportunity, the kind you want. Watch what he does. Watch the reaction after this. A 34-yard attempt. He makes it, and he's thanking a lot of people. This young man went to Tulsa as a team manager, has a soccer background, now a kicker in the NFL.
So he delivers and gives the Patriots a 3-0 lead. Bobby Joe Edmonds and David Hollis are back now for the Seattle Seahawks. The kick drilled out of the end zone. They'll come out to the 20. 3 of New England's 6 losses have been by a field goal. They, of course, won the game at Miami a few weeks ago 6-3. In a game in which their longtime place kicker Tony Franklin was kicking for the Dolphins and missed 3 field goals in that game, including a short one near the end.
Now, the problems of Seattle now very obvious. They've gotten just 7 yards of total offense in 2 drives, and now they're against the wind.
Very difficult conditions, and they'll only worsen. The wind keeps up 40 miles an hour. And And the temperature will be dropping as Kurt Warner tries to cut back and gets to the 22-yard line. First and 10 carry, good for 2. Andre Tippett, who's been to 3 straight Pro Bowls, makes the stop for the Patriots. Number 56 from Iowa.
Had an off year this year. Missed several games because of a knee. But is a very valuable member of that defense because he not only plays linebacker, but in the pass rush, he's the defensive end.
Kreig and the Seahawks. Second down and 8. 3-0 New England, second quarter. Blitz. Kreig eludes it. Nice blocking, and now Kreig is swept under back at the 16-yard line. Andre Tippett got him. Dave Kreig, who'd been out for 7 games with a shoulder separation, has come back and played some terrific football the last 2 weeks against the Oilers and then the Raiders.
Don, look what they did here. They got everybody coming up to the line of scrimmage. They got the nose tackle offset, and when Kreig goes back to pass, he basically has nobody to go to, no place to go anywhere, and Andre Tippett gets it from the right side. Those linebackers are really charging the line of scrimmage. Now, Seattle's got to come up with an outside play to give their offense some time.
The biggest play of this game so far was in New England's scoring drive when Flutie threw an 18-yard third down pass to Stanley Morgan into the wind. Now, Kreig has to try and do it. He loses the ball. New England has it at the 6-yard line.
Picked right out of his hands. Brent Williams, I believe, comes up with the football, but somebody just knocked it right out of his hand, Don.
We'll watch again. So Dave Kreig hit as he drops. Brent Williams coming up with the ball. And the Patriots take over point-blank range almost. First and goal at the 6.
As I told you, that football is a rock. Let's see if we can pick up who grabs it out of his hand. Oh, it just slips out of his hand. Brent Williams picks the ball up, but that ball just flat slipped right out of his hand.
So we now have a turnover each way. You'll remember the Perryman fumble, but the Seahawks weren't able to convert it into points as they missed a field goal. Now the Patriots go first and goal, and Stevens is the tailback in the I set. Francis and Johnson, 2 tight ends are in. John Stevens gets the ball. John Stevens is down to the 3-yard line. The Seahawks are one of the best teams in the league at hunting the football. They train at knocking it free. Stevens wisely with both arms on it. Now Seattle's defense backed up as Coach Knox knows this could be a knockout punch in conditions like this.
Stevens, though, tough guy to knock the ball away from. He's only had 1 fumble in like his last 247 or 55 carries coming into this ball game. Stevens has 12 carries for 47 yards. He needs about 90 to go over 1,000 for the season.
Again, Trump, power I set for the Patriots, who lead 3-0 at 10:55 to play second quarter. Deep back, Stevens takes the pitch. Perryman leads the blocking along with Farrell, and good D by the Seahawks. Knocks him down back at the 7-yard line. So now it becomes third and goal from the 7 after a loss of 4 yards on the play.
Great play by Tony Woods. He fought off the block. It goes far side. He fought off the block of Russ Francis. Is able to keep his feet, and then John Stevens just basically slips right there. This is not a good surface. Mosi Tatupu now in the ball game for New England. Watch Flutie here on the rollout.
Very unusual set as he rolls out near side. Doug Flutie's down to the 4-yard line on third down, and so it'll be a field goal attempt for the Patriots.
That was the option.
At the 6, they don't get in.
That was the option. They were trying to run the option with Mosi Tatupu. This is the second option on the triple option. They forego the fullback. You see he's got that ball out there to flip it. But Seattle defenses it very well. Wyman makes the tackle for little or no gain, so Starosky tries again.
5'9", 175. Doug Flutie is breakable. All quarterbacks are, so he takes a shot, but looks to be all right. Now it'll be a 22-yard attempt by Jason Starosky. He hit his 34-yarder to open the score, and that's been the only score. Kick on the way as he spins it up into the net. And he hits again. And with 9:21 to play, Eddie Garcia sets to kick it off. He was a 4th-round draft choice. They have very high expectations for him. He'll be the long-range field goal kicker if they have that attempt. David Hollis is back deep now. Back with him is Bobby Joe Edmonds for Seattle. 6-0. New England on a pair of field goals. Kickoff again, carries into the end zone, and Edmonds will bring it out. Has a head of steam as he crosses the 20. Strike put on him. Vincent Brown came in, a rookie. Got him with an arm, and the knockdown is made at about the 25-yard line.
Here's Starowski's reaction to his second field goal made today. Again, very happy. Certainly know, not difficult to understand Seattle's problems. Their first 3 drives have netted minus 14 net yards.
That's
4 rushes for
drives.
-6. Kreig has sacked 3 times, minus 14 yards in the first 3 drives.
1st and 10 now for Dave Kreig and the Seahawks. He's going to put it up. All the rollout. Looking down, he swings it ahead, and it's errant. Not even close to John L. Williams at the 30. So the Seahawks dig a hole, not hitting the pass on 1st down. It's 2nd and long, 2nd and 10. Kreig with one of his finest games on Monday night when he threw 5 touchdown passes, each to a different receiver. Tying a team record. He's done it twice before. 5 TD throws.
They got to get something going here. This is a team that loves to run the football, and to this point they've made no dent whatsoever in the New England Patriots defensive line of scrimmage.
That was a huge effort by the Seattle defense, though, keeping the Patriots out of the end zone. They had a 1st and goal at the 6. Draw play. John L. Williams has some room to run, trying to turn the corner on Marion. He is pushed out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. So 2nd and 10 run. It's good for a gain of about 4 yards. Williams, a power back from the University of Florida, averaging 4.8 yards a rush, and he leads the team in receptions. He has 40, including one today. Giants continue to lead Phoenix. Cincinnati extends its lead to 10 over San Diego. Ziason just threw to Collinsworth for a touchdown. Cleveland up on Dallas. Big down now. 3rd down and a long 5 with the ball is positioned for Seattle. Knocked down, and the Seahawks will have to punt the ball into the wind. Aaron Veras, who made the stop, you'll remember, on Dave Kreig when he called that quarterback draw, now slaps down a 3rd down pass, and the Patriots Trump could get very good field position.
Nothing is working for Seattle. Veras just activated off the IR. He had arthroscopic knee surgery, gets his hands up. This Seattle offense built around that run. Play action passing. Last week, 247 yards rushing. Today, almost nothing.
Ruben Rodriguez ready to hit the ball in these 40-mile-an-hour winds. Kicks a line drive downfield. And it goes to about the 47. I think that was intentional by Rodriguez to get a ball down low into the wind. Once you hang it up, it just absolutely stops in midair.
Who's this ball going to go to?
We're going to have to watch this again to sort this out.
I think it was illegally touched by Seattle at the 48, at the New England 48. So anything that happens after that, yeah, it's New England's ball. That punt's 21 yards. Now watch what happens. Once Seattle touches it, and I think it's touched in that crowd right there. Let's see if somebody puts their hand on it. Watch again, watch again. Watch John Spagnuolo, number 88. Now, once that ball is touched, now there's no jeopardy by the receiving team. Irving Fryer realizes that. He can pick it up and run for a touchdown, and they still get it back at the spot where it was touched. John Spagnuolo, 88, hits that ball away. Now, there is no jeopardy for the receiving team. Irving Fryer knows the rules. Once that ball is hit, Fryer can pick it up, fumble it, whatever. It's going to come back to the spot of the illegal touch. Very smart play by Fryer.
Now live action, they go to John Stevens, who has fumbled the ball just once in 245 carries this season, a rookie. That 1st down carry, though, was shut down by the Seahawks. Joe Nash with another tackle for Seattle. Game clock down to 8:30 and running first half. New England on the home field leading Seattle 6-0 on 2 Jason Starofsky field goals.
Seattle in a tough spot here, Don, on the road. They've got to win the remaining 3 games. They do. They win the AFC West playing in wind. So far, none of their offense is working. Time of possession, Patriots favor.
And playing conditions are only going to deteriorate the rest of the day. Once the sun starts to drop, John L. Stevens again can't get wide on the Seahawk defense. On a 2nd down and 9 carry, he may have lost a yard.
Looked like Jeff Bryant was the guy who finally pushed him out. Yeah, Jeff Bryant. When you run laterally against this Seattle Seahawk defense, you have great difficulty because Bryant and Jacob Green, great mobility. But when you run at them, they're not big enough to stand up against 300-pound offensive tackles all day long, and that's where Seattle gives up their big yards.
Reggie Dupard comes in the backfield now for New England. Last time the Patriots had 3rd and long, Doug Flutie into the wind, hit that strike, 18 yards to Stanley Morgan, kept the drive going, and they subsequently scored the opening field goal of the game. Another throw by Flutie. This one is broken up nicely. It looked like it was on target, but coming in to make the play was Dwayne Harper, number 29, an extra defensive back. The intended receiver was Irving Fryer.
This ball thrown just behind Irving Fryer. You'll see the entire thing. Flutie put some zip on it, but if it's thrown out in front of Irving Fryer, that's an easy reception. And frankly, down here in the New England area, Doug Flutie's taken a lot of heat. He's made some mistakes, and mistakes like that, just not throwing the ball accurately in key situations.
This is not a day to be throwing the ball accurately. He's already did it once earlier. Here now is the punt. Ball hit very high. Carries downfield. Edmonds comes up on it, takes it at the 15-yard line. And as he tries to go wide, he's collared and knocked down at about the 23. 38-yard punt, a 7-yard return. Jeff Feagles hitting it downfield for New England. Back at Foxborough, you see the Seahawks' lack of offense today. Nothing at all, -2 yards for the day. Total offense for Seattle, working in these very difficult conditions, and they couldn't be worse now in the Seahawks because in the second quarter, trailing 6-0, they're going into those 40-mile-an-hour winds. Very cold, and the chill factor takes it down to 0 or below. Straight ahead run, gun first down, good for about 2 yards. Now, while we have a moment, let's go to NFL Live and Gail Gardner. Gail?
All right, at Riverfront Stadium, the Bengals had a touchdown pass to Chris Collinsworth called back. Very next play, Esiason 23 yards right back to the veteran Collinsworth, and for Chris, only his first touchdown reception of the season. Cincinnati leads 13-3. Let's go back to Foxborough.
At first you don't succeed, right back to Collinsworth, and now the Seahawks go to Kurt Warner. As he tries to go ride, he is knocked down on a 2nd down and 7 play after a gain of about 3.
Ed Reynolds on the tackle, and down the Seattle Seahawks offense that just chewed up the Los Angeles Raiders defense running the ball last week. Really struggling. They're trying the ball up the middle. They're trying traps. They're trying sweeps. They're trying powers. And so far, the New England Patriots doing a great job of shutting down both John L. Williams and Kurt Warner.
Wind chill, Trump, we're informed, is 7 degrees plus at the moment. But dropping. 6-0 New England. 6:26 to play. First half. Pitch back. Kurt Warner. Hitting him hard is inside linebacker Ed Reynolds, number 95, as they played the run all the way. On 3rd down and 4 into the wind, the Seahawks do not even elect to try and throw the ball.
At times, New England once again, look at all the guys at the line of scrimmage. You see, they basically have the Seattle Seahawks outnumbered. Claiborne's out there to turn the running back in. Reynolds makes the tackle. And I think you have to give a great deal of credit to the New England Patriot defense. They've got this offense diagnosed perfectly.
This is one of those days, if the Seattle offense can hold them, maybe the Seattle defense can get them back in the game. It's going to take a turnover.
Seattle has no first downs.
Punt into the wind. It hangs up and drops. Fryer won't even make an attempt at it. And it is down at the 46-yard line of the Patriots. And that's where New England goes on offense. 1st and 10. Just a 29-yard punt into the wind by Ruben Rodriguez. 5:31 to play first half.
The way Seattle's played, it's like 26-0.
They had the one shot early after recovering a fumble, did the Seahawks, but the field goal attempt by Norm Johnson was wide. New England not generating a lot of running offense either. Bob Perryman takes the ball to about the 46 for a gain of less than a yard.
Certainly a big difference in field possession there. Field position. One guy for Seattle that's playing his heart out is Joe Nash. He's in on an awful lot of tackles so far in this first half. He's doing a good job on Mike Babb, playing in front of the hometown folks.
They're both defenses on either team doing well. Seattle keeping New England out a little earlier when they had first and goal at the 6. Throw and a catch. Robert Perryman flashes ahead. On second down and 10, he's ahead for a first down for the Patriots. Game clock down to 4:40 to play in the second quarter. 6-0 New England. David Wyman finally made the tackle, but about 12 yards downfield.
You see the running backs there in the up position, the two-point stance. Both used to call this A and B circle. Stevens and Perriman both just circle around the linebackers. Nice little short completion. Flutie now 4 of 5 in this first half.
So Flutie with some very impressive numbers passing the ball on about the most difficult conditions you could find. Only thing missing is snow. Here is Irving Fryer on the run, and Seattle defense is right there to shut it down.
Irving Fryer carried.
First down and 10 play. Irving Fryer got only a yard. Making the knockdown on the play was Jacob Green and Joe Nash.
Nash now with 5 tackles. He's over the center. They try to influence him as best they possibly can, but Schultz 58, Jacob Green 79, and Joe Nash 72, not fooled at all.
Joe Nash now in his 7th year out of Boston College. Same program that produced Doug Flutie with a straight drop. Flutie on 2nd and 9 on the run. Lofts it up and ruled out of bounds at the 37-yard line. He threw the ball to Irving Fryer, could not keep both feet in. That'll bring up 3rd down and 9 from the 41. But this is makeable field goal range with this wind.
Woo. I guess they go to Garcia. He's New England's long-distance field goal kicker.
There is Starowski, who hit the 2 field goal attempts. It was interesting, Trump, down on the field before the game when both teams were practicing kicking into the wind. Starowski kicking from the same distance as the powerful leg Norm Johnson was getting it through. Johnson's ball was dying.
Well, I think Starowski's able to practice up here in this wind. Makes a big difference.
3rd down and 9. Flutie takes a look. Lets a rip. Downfield. Incomplete. Again, good defense by the extra DB. That time Terry Taylor was the front man. 29 Harper was behind him, and it was Taylor who got a hand on the ball. So the Seahawk defense holds again, and here comes the field goal unit.
That ball was well thrown. It was intended for Cedric Jones.
Now they're sending the punter out, Trump.
Taylor was right there to make the good coverage, knocks the ball away, and good choice here, I believe. If you're Raymond Berry now, you want this out at the corner. So again, you got that long field against Seattle and the wind.
If he missed, it would be 58-yard miss in good field position. Here is the punt. It'll carry into the end zone with the wind. And that's where it'll be for the touchback. 1st and 10 now for Seattle at their 20-yard line. 41-yard punt into the end zone. Now going in front of Washington. Here at Foxborough, Seattle trailing New England 6-0. Dallas giving Cleveland a problem. They're tied up 7-7. Indianapolis now rallies to lead Miami 14-7. Eric Dickerson, touchdown run for the Colts. Dave Kreig on 1st and 10. Lets a rip down the middle, and Scansey can't get his hands on the ball. Paul Scansey starting today for the injured Steve Largent, who has a foot injury and will not play. And it's incomplete to make it 2nd and 10.
Now, one of the problems you have when you throw the ball against the wind is that ball, when it gets out of round, when the spiral stops, it goes crazy. Absolutely crazy. And I think you can see Kreig just watching that ball tail away. And Scansey was open. It's very difficult to throw that football into the wind.
cannot tell what it'll do with the gusting winds. Second down and 10. To the run. Nothing there. Patriots shut it down quickly as Kurt Warner is knocked down by Brent Williams at the 21-yard line. A reminder to our viewers that we'll be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game at the conclusion of the game.
Seattle still no first downs in this first half. That time they ran a draw play. I don't think New England is convinced that Seattle can throw the ball. Strange call to come with the draw. That's faking the pass and then giving it to the running back.
And I'm pretty sure Seattle at this point not sure if they can throw the ball.
Agreed.
Third down and 9 as David Kreig stands back at his 15-yard line. Blair Bush ready to give him a shotgun snap. Blitz. They pick it up. Long ball downfield. Man's open, but he can't get to the ball. Running on the fly was the very fast Brian Blades, the rookie from Miami of Florida, who's having a standout rookie season. Second-round draft choice. He's caught 32 this year, averaging almost 17 yards a catch, 7 for 6 for touchdowns.
That was a nice move by Brian Blades. Really froze in DB. Kreig couldn't get him the ball.
New England now looking to get in scoring range with 2:08 to play in the first half. Patriots lead the game on 2 field goals, 6-0. Downfield, it stops again. Gets a Seattle roll across midfield, not out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. 34-yard punt, well done by Rodriguez. And now the 2-minute warning is given, with the New England Patriots continuing to lead. That's Steve Largent with the hood on and the sunglasses. He is out of this game with a foot injury, but it does not affect his consecutive games receiving streak, which of course is the NFL record now at 165 consecutive games. Largent strained a foot against the Raiders in that win at Seattle on Monday night, so Scansey starting in his place. Reggie Dupart now comes in the offensive backfield for New England.
On the way Dave Kreig is throwing the football, probably good that Steve Largent is not playing. That consecutive game reception streak might be in jeopardy with these weather conditions today. Stevens, by the way, New England's leading rusher, his last 5 carries have produced -5 yards.
6-0 Patriots. Flutie from the shotgun on first down. He lets her rip downfield, and it's intercepted. It could go the distance as the interception is made. Now a fumble on the return. Darren Como intercepted the ball, ran it back, and he may have lost it to the Patriots. Darren Como's in for the injured Brian Bosworth.
Seattle still got it.
Seattle keeps the ball, so the Seahawks will get a big break there, one of their own making. And they now have the ball first and 10 at the 34-yard line of New England.
That ball bounced off the hands of Irving Pryor, right into the hands of Darren Como. Watch Pryor. They cross. It's thrown behind him. And once again, Flutie just off target. Como makes his own man knocks it out of his hand. Jeff Bryant knocks the ball out of his hand. And somehow, a Seattle Seahawk comes up with it. Looks like Bruce Schultz and others down there digging for it. Seattle ball.
But the Seahawks have to get yards here to get in field goal range. They're heading into the wind. In the first 6 drives, total positive yardage for Seattle plus 2 yards. That's all. Kreig wants to throw. Looking into the wind. He dips it off. Great catch by John L. Williams. He's inside the 25-yard line. Williams making a below-the-knee reception to the wrong side to keep the drive going, as you see the game clock down to 1:36 and running. And that, Trump, was the first down of this game for the Seahawks.
You see Kreig trying to take something off of it. And you're right, Don. A great catch by John L. Williams. Ronnie Lepet finally knocks him down for the Seahawks' first down.
See the game clock winding down in the second quarter. New England leads 6-0, but Seattle mounting a challenge after the turnover.
Reverse.
This is Brian Blades, and they stick him at the 28-yard line. That'll bring up up second down and 14 after a loss of 4 yards.
Now, Seattle has all 3 timeouts left. With the clock going here, they got to start using their timeouts wisely here to take advantage of it. You can see what Seattle's doing. Their bread and butter stuff, that is Warner and Williams up the middle, not working. So they go with the trick stuff. New England there to stop them for a loss of about 8 yards.
Our place kicker, Norm Johnson of the Seahawks, warming up that right foot. But he's not in range now. The ball positioned at the 29-yard line of New England. Normally this would be a sure shot for a long-range kicker like Johnson. But he's kicking into those gusting winds. I don't think he can get it there. At least he couldn't in the pregame warm-ups from this position. So they have to get closer. 52 seconds to play first half. Kreig swings it out. Incomplete at the 29-yard line. It'll bring up third down and 14 for the Seahawks.
Scansy, the intended receiver, and boy, this is not Seahawk football. Chuck Knoxville likes to fire it at the line of scrimmage here, but New England doing such a great job at the line of scrimmage stopping Seattle. They can't get anything going. They're going with the swing passes, with the reverses.
And they're not going to get a lot of time to throw deep here, Trump, because the Patriots, if the form chart holds up, are going to come with a full blitz. At Dave Kreig setting in the shotgun. Linebackers come up tight. Third down and 14. Kreig looks at his alignment. 2 wide receivers to either side. Here's the blitz. Kreig stands in, gets it away, and it's caught, but well short of a first down. It is a catch at the 23-yard line by Paul Scansy.
This would be about a 42-yard attempt for Norm Johnson. This is a tough choice now for Chuck Knox. Do you go for it on 4th down, or do you try the field goal here? Once again, great coverage down the field, and Kreig has to go with the underneath receiver, and Scansy makes a big catch, but Seattle takes a timeout to consider this.
36 seconds to play in the first half. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Michael Weissman. Our producer of today's game is Kenneth Roy Edmondson. Our director, Andy Rosenberg. We're coming to you from Foxborough, Mass. On a bitter, cold December day, a bright, sunshiny day. Temperature in the low 30s, but the winds gusting to 40 miles an hour bring the chill factor to about 0.
This would be about a 40-yard attempt now. Kemp is in, Norm Johnson on. He's a very strong-legged kicker. But as you said, Don, with this win, he's 9 of 11 from 40 to 49. But
this isn't kicking in the Kingdome or in L.A. or San Diego. Optimum conditions in the AFC West. This is as bad as it gets for a kicker. Gusting, swirling wind coming right into his face. 41-yard attempt where the hold will be. Kemp the holder because Larsen's out. He spins it up. He won't be close. So again, he's unable to hit the field goal, Norm Johnson. And the best opportunity of this game goes for naught for the Seattle Seahawks.
Don, he had the distance.
I don't know. He's wide.
It was long enough, but it was just wide. When kickers need a little extra, they tend to hook the ball. And I think he was trying to guard against that. And, of course, kicking the ball into the wind when that thing flips over, you don't know what it's going to do.
Now the Patriots with 31 seconds left. At halftime on NFL Live, Dwayne Thomas, a great if troubled runner for the Dallas Cowboys some years back. He would never talk to the press. Now he will. He's written a book. We'll have the scores and the highlights with Bob, Ahmad, and Gale. And the Patriots are going to take their winnings to the locker room. They trot off as the game clock winds out. Doug Flutie, a job well done in the first half. Norm Johnson had his problems, but there certainly were mitigating circumstances. Any kicker coming into this is going to have a tough day. Starowski had a great one so far. Hit them both, Trump.
He's 2 for 2, and Norm Johnson missed one with the wind and one against the wind. And whatever New England is doing defensively against Seattle, Seattle's got to fix if they have any chance to get back in this game.
Really, you have to, as more you look at the conditions and the way the game is going, it's going to take big plays by the defense to bring Seattle back into it. NFL Live halftime activities continue in a moment. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
We welcome those of you watching the Seattle-New England game. Bob Costas along with Gail Gardner and Ahmad Rashad. And as you know, the Patriots with the lead of 6-0 after Norm Johnson missed the field goal toward the end of the first half. And as you know, those of you who follow the Seahawks and the Patriots, Steve Largent's absence hurts Seattle primarily in terms of their passing game, but he's also their holder on place kicks. Whether or not that had anything to do with Norm Johnson's miss or if he has subsequent problems, we'll have to wait and see. But in the meantime, let's get a comment from Gail on this one.
Cold, windy day, as it often is this time of year in Foxborough. Jason Starofsky, the difference, 2 field goals, and he, of course, the kid who missed the tying field goal last week against the Colts. The Hawks have their fate in their own hands. If they win their last 3 games, they will be the AFC West champs, but they face the Broncos, and then they face the Raiders. They have to beat the Pats today. Neither team able to mount much of an offense, as you can see.
All right, let's take a look at the game going on right now at the Meadowlands, where the Giants are taking on the Phoenix Cardinals. Earl Farrell just scored a touchdown for the Cards. They had trailed 17-0. Phil Simms has thrown for a couple of touchdowns. The Giants at 8-5 lead 17-7. Gene Stallings' Cardinals, without Neil Lomax for the past couple of weeks, are in a position now where if they lose, they're just about out of the race. They need this game desperately. The Redskins playing the Eagles. Philadelphia will be the champion in the NFC East if they win the rest of their games, and they lead in this one by a score of 10-7 at the Vet late in the second quarter. The Bengals and the Chargers at Riverfront Stadium. The Bengals will clinch at least a wild card if they win this one today for Sam White. Of course, they have their sights set on the division title in the AFC Central, but they'll get at least a wild card if they win today. Part of the reason for their success this year, the outstanding and colorful rookie Ickey Woods. This touchdown was his 14th of the season as the Bengals roar before the home fans. They missed the point after they led 6-3. Now here's Esiason, protected well, zipping one to Chris Collinsworth. 23-yard touchdown. Collinsworth has had a couple of touchdown receptions, potential touchdowns, called back by penalties this year. That was his first. As a matter of fact, his first touchdown that counted in the last 2 years. Cincinnati leading it 13-3. Dallas is playing at Cleveland. The Cowboys trying to snap a 9-game losing streak. Cleveland leads at 10-7 on a bar field goal of 25 yards that snapped a 7-all tie just a few moments ago. Earlier, Bernie Kosar had thrown a 73-yard touchdown pass to Reggie Langhorne. Tampa Bay and Buffalo. The Bills come in at 11-2. Tampa Bay 3-10. And the Bucks have the lead on the John Carney field goal of 29 yards. Donald Ikwebuke is sitting out with an injury. Carney's 29-yarder gives Tampa Bay a perhaps surprising 3-0 lead at home. Ahmad?
Well, Bob, for Tampa Bay, this is their Super Bowl. This is the closest they're ever going to get to a Super Bowl. But to get a chance to knock Buffalo off, who has a chance to get in the Super Bowl, that's why they're all fired up and playing very well. And in terms of Buffalo, they really need to start playing well. Last week they dropped the game to Cincinnati, but in order to roll into those playoffs, they got to win these next 3 games and really get a roll into those playoffs to really be considered as a contender.
Well, the San Francisco 49ers are certainly contenders in the NFC West. They take an 8-5 record into Atlanta, where Marion Campbell's Falcons have played improved ball of late. They're 5-8, and on a Montana pass to Jerry Rice covering 20 yards, San Francisco has a 7-0 lead just before halftime. Indianapolis just scored again, and they go up 21-7 at Miami. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from that game. Joe Robbie Stadium, that's where we'll be January 22nd for the Super Bowl here on NBC. Here's Lorenzo Hampton diving in for an early touchdown that gave the Dolphins a 7-0 lead. But back comes Indianapolis. They scored 3 times in the second quarter, one of them on Eric Dickerson's 2-yard run. Dickerson has 95 yards rushing unofficially at this point on his way to a big first half, and Indy, with their record of 7-6, leading the 5-8 Dolphins 21-7. Detroit at home against Green Bay, and the Lions, who are 3-10, lead the 2-11 Pack by a score of 13-0. Green Bay fumbled the opening kickoff that led to an Eddie Murray field goal, and it's continued to be a difficult day for the Packers from that point on as the Lions have the 13-0 lead. We've got Saturday football coming up on NBC. We hope you'll be with us for NFL Live, which starts at noon Eastern Time this coming Saturday. Indianapolis taking on the Jets. And when we come back,
6-0 at the half. The Patriots needing to win their final 3 games to hope to get as a wild card. Seattle's difficulties compounded greatly if they lose today. As you see, the Patriots come in at 7-6. They would still need Indianapolis and Cleveland to lose at least 1 game if New England did win their last 3. This development so far gets the LA Raiders right back in the race. They play Denver as a doubleheader game on NBC Sports. If Seattle should lose today, they'd go to 7-7. The Raiders have the best divisional record so far, so if they should beat Denver, we'd have a 3-way tie, but the Raiders would have the edge with 2 games to go. Not good news. The form chart shows that the Seattle Seahawks have lost 15 straight games when they've trailed at halftime. And so far in this game today, they have had virtually no offense in the first half. It has been a brutal day. Winds gusting up to 40 miles an hour. But somehow Jason Starofsky, the place kicker for New England's managed to hit 2 field goals, while Norm Johnson, his counterpart with the Seahawks, has hit 0 for 2. So, Trump, what do you think happens in the second half? You got to open your offense a little because the running game is is not working.
Well, I think Chuck Knox got a tough choice. They only trail by 6 points, and do you open up the offense, or do you say to you guys, look, as miserable as we played in this first half, we only trail by 6, let's stay with the game plan. But they have had absolutely no offensive luck whatsoever. Just 1 first down, and it came on that run by John L. Williams at the end of the first half. They have established nothing at the line of scrimmage. The New England Patriots have absolutely dominated, and the most amazing thing you see there in the stats there, 22 plays run for Seattle, 13 total yards. John L. Williams has got 4 carries for 8 yards, and Kurt Warner's got 5 for 6 yards. New England has absolutely controlled the line of scrimmage, but Seattle starts the second half now with the wind at their back, and whatever they're going to do, this opening drive of the second half is going to be the biggest determining factor of the outcome of this game.
And so, to open the third quarter, the Patriots take the ball as Seattle's ready to kick off with the wind gusting at Norm Johnson's back. You see the rushing yards today. Stevens, another very credible performance in the cold. And this kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. The Seahawk defense did indeed keep the Hawks in the game when New England had a 1st and goal at the 6 and had to settle for a field goal. Elgin Davis runs it back. They'll be hunting the ball, will the Seahawks, as Elgin Davis gets out across to the 27-yard line, and it might be free. Seahawks think they have it. Every down, they'll be hunting the ball, and they do indeed free the football, and Seattle has the ball, and they'll open the third quarter 1st and 10 inside the 30-yard line of New England.
Hollis made the big hit for Seattle. This is always subject to replay. Even though the call is made on the field, we got to wait to see what the replay guy upstairs sees. Elgin Davis still has the ball. He's starting to fall. Can't really see much from that angle. From that angle, this is going to be a better look now. It does not look like anybody hits him. Seattle running the play quick. Yeah, the ball was loose.
That was a fumble.
Ball was loose.
So the Seahawks make a big break for themselves to open the third quarter, trailing 6-0. To the run. Williams hit hard. Coming up to get him was Milford Hodge, number 97, the defensive right end.
Now, Don, this turnover and the ball now in the hands of Seattle basically can wipe out the first half nightmare if they can get the ball in the end zone. And remember, New England's going to have the ball in the fourth quarter, so it's certainly an advantage to their field goal kicker. Seattle must get this ball in the end zone on this drive.
A doubleheader game today on NBC Sports is huge. Denver at the Raiders. Right now it's 2nd down and about a long 7. Blitz against Kreig. He dumps it off, makes the play, but Williams is caught and he loses yardage back to the 27-yard line. Roland James out of Tennessee, now in his 9th year, a former #1 draft choice, made the play for New England.
Don, it's still very evident to me that Seattle is going with the slip and slide stuff. You know, Chuck Knox is ground Chuck, and he likes to hammer that ball up in there. But with those numbers today, the inability of Williams and Warner to carry the ball, Seattle's got to go to the last page of the playbook to try to get some things done here.
Coach Knox looking on as his sideline is now bathed in the shadows. The sun's starting to drop. Chill factor at 0. Kreig from the shotgun. 3rd down and 10. Lofted ball. End zone man open. Is it taken? It's a touchdown for Seattle. Down with the ball was Raymond Butler, who went to his knees sliding and somehow caught the ball. So Seattle finally capitalizes on a break, forcing a turnover on the third quarter kickoff. And then a 27-yard scoring throw on 3rd down. Dave Kreig to Raymond Butler, and the Seahawks are within an extra point of taking the lead.
Rod McSwain was the man in coverage, and Don, last week against the Los Angeles Raiders, 4 of the 5 touchdowns that David Kreig threw, 3rd down situations. Oh, what a monster drive.
But I tell you this, we have seen the first of what could be many second half turnovers. There will be more. Extra point is up and good. Norm Johnson makes his 3rd kick of the day after missing 2 field goals, hits an extra point, and Seattle leads. The Seattle offense finally hits a big play. In fact, that touchdown throw, Dave Kreig to Raymond Butler for 27 yards, more than doubled the total offense in the first half. The Seahawks had just 13 yards.
Seattle got 2 breaks on that drive. We'll show you the break here in a minute.
The kickoff, a high spinner by Johnson, will carry short. With the ball is Sammy Martin. He ran one back 95 for a touchdown last week and looking to do the same. Martin cuts to the outside, and he's not done until he gets out to the 43-yard line. Now, Mr. Trumpy, if you'll kindly look over this replay.
David Hollis made the tackle there. Watch this catch or non-catch by Ray Butler. Now, we've enlarged this picture. Watch this ball go into and threw his hands onto the ground. And he picks the ball back up. Touchdown, Seattle. Now, there's an official standing right there in the end zone, and at fast speed, you couldn't tell, but what a break for Seattle.
Stats man Elliott Cab pointing out the Patriots have run 12 times out of 13 first down plays, and they do it now for a 13th time out of 14, averaging 3.5 yards. They get nothing.
And again, back to that touchdown reception by Ray Butler. Now, this is a little quicker speed, and it shows, I believe, a little better that Butler gets his hands on the ball, and then it appears to bounce on the turf. Now, of course, the replay needs irrefutable evidence, and they also need some time and the right angle to make a determination. But that one, I think, Seattle got away with, Don. They'll take it.
Big development for the Seahawks, who, in seemingly out of the game, even though down 6-0, all of a sudden hit the big strike, something they'd been missing, and they take a 7-6 lead.
They've got an injury out there on the field. Butler's catch, his 4th touchdown of the season. There's the player being attended to on the sideline. It's Bruce Schultz.
That touchdown, though, really energized the Seahawks and enervated the Patriots, who have lost their luster for the moment. Bruce Schultz has just left the game. He got wrapped on the head, should be back, taken out to get his breath. Joe Nash checks him out. As you see, the game clock shows 12 minutes and 35 seconds to play third quarter. Seattle, after getting only 13 yards offense in the first half, gets a 27-yard scoring strike. Kreig to Raymond Butler to take the lead. Now Flutie with a long down, 2nd and 13. They pick up the blitz. Flutie on the run. Turns the corner and bails out.
Oh, flag throws
coming in. There'll be a big tag on after that. Somebody took a shot at Flutie when he was out of bounds. Tony Woods.
That was a very dumb play. Because they had him. It would have been 3rd down and about 9, maybe 10 yards. He hit him when he was clearly out of bounds. You got to use your head when you're out there. The emotion has jumped back finally on the side of Seattle, and then something like that happens. Jeff Bryant allows Flutie to get outside. It's one of the things you don't want to do. That's an easy call. Tony Woods. First penalty on Seattle today.
So now Flutie and the Patriots trailing for the first time in the game. Down 7-6, go 1st and 10. John Stevens breaks it. Our run, good for 9. He's to the 31-yard line of the Seahawks. Knocked down by defensive end Jeff Bryant. Game clock down to 12 minutes to play third quarter. 7-6 Seattle.
Needs 93 yards today for 1,000 yards rushing.
Last rookie to get 1,000 was Reuben Mays of New Orleans in '86.
Actually, it's happened almost every year.
Yeah.
There's a rookie rusher over 1,000 yards.
You see the down in yardage. 2nd and 1 for Flutie and the Patriots. Harriman. Trap blocking just splinters the defensive front of the Seahawks. First down. New England gets the ball down to the 26-yard line of Seattle.
Wyman makes the tackle. Look at these 2 running backs in New England. Very seldom do you see them down in the 3-point stance. This time Stevens, the lead blocker, outside. Harriman cuts it inside Tampa Bay leads Buffalo 10-0 at the half. I'm not joking. 10-0 at the half. Slight cheer here in New England.
Bills beat the Patriots twice by field goals. Stevens runs again as the Patriots go right back to what brung him that running game, and Stevens isn't done till he's down to the 10-yard line.
Look what that penalty has done for New England and Seattle. If Tony Woods doesn't hit Doug Flutie out of bounds, then you don't have the crowd in this game. Again, hammering right behind Bruce Armstrong and Wooten, the right guard and right tackle. Babb does a good job on Joe Nash, and Stevens, with Wyman hanging all over him, continues to drive down to the 12-yard line.
Patriots going into the wind in the third quarter. They'll have it at their back in the fourth quarter. Flutie, handoff. Stevens cutting back. He's done till he gets to the 5-yard line. One fumble and almost 250 carries this rookie season, and you see why he doesn't cough it up. 2 arms are on the ball. Giants with a 10-point lead on Phoenix at halftime. The Eagles can win the NFC East if they win their last 3 games. Cincinnati, your old team, Trump, are rolling again today. Dallas up on Cleveland. The Cowboys looking for Troy Aikman, but still have pride, and they're beating the favored Browns at Cleveland.
Well, New England needs Cleveland and or Indianapolis to lose a game to have a chance at the playoffs.
2nd down and 4 for the first down. 2nd and just over 5 for the touchdown. Stevens takes it down to the 2-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and less than a yard for the first down, and depending on the spot, I don't think he's to the first down marker.
Eugene Robinson, the free safety, again makes the tackle. You see Stevens with that forward body lean. Looks like he's running downhill. 20 carries now, 70 yards. That penalty by Tony Woods. How key was that? They're going to measure for the first down here, Don. Flutie's saying just a little bit, but quarterbacks always say just a little bit. Flutie was about right, about that much.
3rd down comes up, 3rd and very short. So they'll set the power formation again with Russ Francis and rookie Steve Johnson as tight ends. Lynn Dawson is out, normal starter, with an injury as Flutie comes over for some counsel while the chain markers are out.
Interesting way. See, New England calls their offense. Basically, it's Steve Grogan that calls their offense.
Grogan calls it, gives it to Eason, he signals it in. Grogan to Eason to Flutie.
Tupu in the ball game now.
Mosey to Tupu and Robert Perryman are the runners for the Patriots.
Now look, those running backs are up in a 2-point stance.
Tupu hangs down. He's close. No signal, but he did get the first down.
Jeff Bryant makes the tackle. The unusual thing about being up in a 2-point stance is that generally it takes a set step to get going. Now watch them. See, they both take a set step. That is, put that foot back and then take off. And generally in short yardage and goal line situations, you want 2 projectiles heading up there. New England, they put them up in 2.
Current drive, 8 plays, all passes. 9th play of the drive, all runs.
8 plays, 8 runs.
And now they'll probably go to the run again at point-blank range. Over the top, and the Patriots with a most impressive long drive answer the touchdown of Seattle and take it down the field. And again, go in front.
Perriman's 5th rushing touchdown. And how about that penalty on Tony Woods? Good push here by the offensive line of the Patriots. Perriman with a nice jump over the line. And now New England once again, they get momentum back on their side of the ball.
Skorowski ready for the point after attempt. It's up on the way and good. And so after the Seahawks score, the Patriots come right down the field into the wind. Get a 57-yard. Doug Flutie working in bad weather, as is his counterpart Dave Kreig. Both these teams with their most impressive offenses to open the third quarter, both resulting in touchdowns. It's 13-7, New England in the lead. Kevin Harmon is back deep as number 7, Teddy Garcia, set to kick it off for New England. Hits it hard into the wind. It carries down to the 5-yard line. Bobby Joe Edmonds runs it back. He breaks it. He's gone. No, they trip him up. It might have been Garcia who got him by the ankle. Edmonds was out of here. A wide open channel. And somehow Garcia dove at him and caught him. That could have been a gamer.
Absolutely, he was gone. Excellent blocking here up front because Edmonds is not untouched. Totally untouched until he gets to Garcia. Look, you see the nice little lane there. Nice move there. Desperation. He lays out, just gets a hand on a knee.
Wow.
Saves a touchdown. Last line of defense, and he does the job.
Kreig and the Seahawks working with the wind at their back. 8:32 to play third quarter. Kreig going to throw on first down.
Nobody.
And he wisely gets rid of the ball before he's sacked. It'll be second down and 10.
There was no one open. Milford Hodge and Andre Tippett with good pressure. Here's the touchdown by Perriman. A good dive over the top, and all of this kept alive. This drive supplied basically by the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty of Tony Woods. He hits Doug Flutie out of bounds on a second down at about 14. It would have been third down and about 10. Kept the drive alive, and New England scored.
Seahawk players on the sideline were all up and standing in the first half. Now they're all on that heated bench with good reason. Second down and 10 for Seattle. Kreig to John L. Williams. Touchdown by All-Pro Andre Tippett, number 56. Shooting from the left side, he got John L. Williams for a substantial loss back to the 45.
Ran him down from behind.
8 minutes and 8 seconds to play in the third quarter. Patriots lead at 13-7.
This play took a long time to develop. You'll watch Andre Tippett just almost be there as John L. Williams gets the handoff. The offense of the Seahawks very slow moving today.
On the shotgun, third and long. Kreig lets it go, and it's not close to a connection. Scansey moving at the ball at the 50. So now the Patriot defense is saluted with a big ovation as the Seahawks have to punt the ball.
Again, Tippett now, this time not as a linebacker, but as a pass rusher. He's handled, but he does get enough pressure to be in Dave Kreig's face. Kreig doesn't throw it properly. Seattle just 2 first downs today. 1 in the first half and 1 so far in the second half.
Andre Tippett delivers big time once again for New England. Irving Tryer's the deep man in punt receiving formation. Ruben Rodriguez hits a high lofting punt. Woo. Somehow Jim Bowman says, "I'll take it," and does a 36-yard punt. And the Patriots take over the ball at their 19 in a moment. Irving Tryer well pleased with the over-the-shoulder punt reception of his teammate Jim Bowman. Irving now trying to get those fans going, and it's succeeded at least with those two. This New England group, they get going good, despite the weather. John Stevens running hard, and there's not much there. And we're warned that these Seahawks are expert at getting the ball free. Stevens doesn't get yardage, but he does keep the football.
Joe Nash that time on the tackle. Bruce Schultz is out of the game. He's replaced by M.L. Johnson. And you see Joe Nash is over there to make the tackle. And watch Stevens cover this ball up. Has both hands on it. Wyman and Nash assist on the tackle. Boy, does this team run right, or does this team run right? Look at there. They don't care if you know it either. That's behind Armstrong and Wooten. They're going to keep running it there, too.
They are indeed. They have the center. Farrell and Wooten, the guard. Thea and Armstrong are the tackles. Tupu, for the most part, a risk-free runner, a fumble-free runner over the years, takes the ball ahead on 2nd down and 8 for about 4.
That's a flag against Seattle. Joe Nash jumped off sides. He's had a good game. Made a lot of tackles, been all over the field.
Offside, 72 defense, 2nd down.
Those centers, they can't be trusted. They'll squeeze that football, flex their forearm. Babb is an expert. He knows how to do it. And, of course, the quarterback turns soprano on you, and you're offside.
So the ball is positioned at the 28-yard line of New England. The 5-yard mark off against the Seahawks makes it 2nd down and 2. 13-7. Patriots in the lead. 6:15 to play, 3rd quarter. Back to the run, and Tupu takes it ahead for very close to 1st down yardage. He gets it to about the 32-yard line. Middle of the Seattle defense makes the play.
Now, we mentioned Joe Nash's name quite a bit today. Here is a perfect example of what you want the nose tackle to do. Nash is right here. He stands up the center, reads the fullback as he comes there, and is able to slide off to make the tackle. Watch the job that Nash does. Just stands that center right up, and then he can see Tupu get the ball, bites off back. Babb there to make the tackle for little or no gain. Well, that's the way you want a nose tackle to play. Nash not the biggest nose tackle in the game, but a real tough guy in there.
Relatively light, but very quick defensive front for the Seahawks. Hand off to Stevens as he cuts back. A 1st down carry by John Stevens, the rookie, who's nearing 1,000 yards in his 14th game of his first year. Is ahead for a gain of about 7 yards. Out to the 39-yard line. Joe Nash got him, but he got him downfield 7.
Watch Jeff Bryant, 77, too. BS 73 does a good job of shielding him out, and Bryant assists on the tackle. There's that forward body lean protecting the football, and again it brings up 2nd down and short for New England. He needs 93, I think, for 1,000, so he's approaching that.
Now he needs just 13. Both these teams entered the game with 7 and 6 records, but their playoff chances varied widely. New England can only go as a wild card if they win their last 3 and get help by the Colts and Browns losing at least once. Seattle's in position to win its way to an AFC West championship. But right now, in the cold at Foxborough, the Seahawks are down 13-7, 4:25 to play, 3rd quarter.
Seahawks had good fortune a couple of 3 weeks ago. They lost, but then so did the Raiders, and so did Denver. With the Raiders and Denver playing each other later on this afternoon, the big game in our doubleheader, Seattle's not going to be that fortunate today if they lose this football game.
Patriots beat Seattle. Denver have to be the favorite then. But you really can't call a favorite the way this thing goes. Stevens on 3rd and short. Breaks it for a Patriot 1st down. He's out to the 45-yard line. Melvin Jenkins, a cornerback, knocked him down. Possession football, moving the chain markers, running the clock.
A rare run to the left. That time an excellent block by the tight end, Russ Francis. He really caves down Tony Woods. And Stevens, that's a relatively easy pickup. Drive stays alive. 3:27 and ticking to go in this 3rd quarter. Francis had a big block on that play.
Basic eye set with Morgan and Fryer flanked to either side. Stevens stuck. Big play. Coming up to hit him was Alonzo Mitz, the Warrior, he refers to himself as. Mitz out of Florida. Like the late Sun King Louis XIV, and like Bo Jackson refers to himself in the 3rd person, the Warrior.
Louis XIV didn't do very well referring to himself in the third person, did he?
He reigned for 70 years. Hollis has a bruised collarbone.
Maybe I'm thinking of Louis XV or the 16th.
The 16th, I believe he lost his hat and his head.
I knew there was one of those Louis that didn't do well.
Après moi le deluge. That was Louis XV. After me the storm. But right now we have the handoff to Mosey to Tupu, taking it straight ahead on 3rd down and about 11, and he doesn't get a whole lot as the Seahawks, with that slant angle linebacker blitz against the run, make the knockdown for a very short gain.
Now if Seattle has any chance to get back in this ball game, they've got to come up with a turnover and certainly stop this drive.
Third down. 9.
With Bob Trumpy, this is Don Criqui at Foxborough, Massachusetts. 1:43 to play on this bitter cold day. Third quarter. Flutie lets it rip. Fires out there. So's the defense, and it goes as a long out at the 17-yard line. Paul Moyer running free in the defensive secondary, recovered after Fryer had the defense beaten by 2 strides.
Time to see that ball hang up. The wind just stopped it. Absolutely stopped it in its tracks.
Giants extend their lead. Dallas continues to lead the favored Browns, and the Bills having trouble at Tampa Bay, down 10-0. Bobby Joe Edmonds back now as the Patriots have to punt. Into the wind, it doesn't go far, and it'll be out of bounds outside the 35-yard line. They're going to spot the ball at the 38. And so Seattle gets the ball with 1:28 to go in the third quarter. That was just a 16-yard punt by Jeff Fiegels.
Now, once again, Seattle in a do-or-die drive. They must win their final 3 football games. They have complete control of their own destiny. And a bad note to repeat that they have lost 15 straight when they trail at the half. They trail now.
Off to John L. Williams, who's out to the 43-yard line. Milford Hodge was on the tackle. There's no longer any sunshine on that playing field. The chill factor way down. It was close to 0 in the first half when the sun was on the field. The winds continue to gust.
To this
18
point,
to 40.
Don, to this point, if you just tuned in, Seattle has a grand total of 2, count them 2, first downs for the whole game.
Kurt Warner cutting back, staying at home, and here now is a holding call coming in. Or that would be the, well, we'll see. It could be a face mask also, as the spot is made at the 47-yard line.
That came in very, very late. Right after tackle, the field judge threw it. He comes into Tom Dooley, and
Patriots say it's against Seattle.
It is holding. You were right on the first call, Don.
Coach Knox not well pleased. In the previous 5 seasons that Chuck Knox has been at Seattle, they've been to the playoffs twice, have not won a divisional championship. In position to win their way in this year.
Holding 86 off there. Second down.
But Chuck Knox and the Seahawks are up against it right now.
That's Mike Tice, the tight end. Finally, the Seahawks had a chance on 3rd and short, and then they get a holding call.
Seattle's at home against Denver next week, then goes to Los Angeles to play the Raiders the final day of the regular season. Patriots have Tampa Bay here next week. Good luck to the Buccaneers coming up to Florida, from Florida to this. Then they go to Denver on a Saturday to close out regular season play.
Screen.
Free fumble. That's live on the field. It hops out of bounds.
Seattle ball.
Second down and 16 play, and let's see where they spot it.
Where it goes out of bounds. Kurt Warner had it. Ed Reynolds stripped it from him. And it's going to be at the spot where it went out of bounds, Don.
And that spot is at the 22-yard line.
Again, you're so used to seeing the Seattle Seahawks just hammer the ball at the line of scrimmage, and they're going with the slip screens. They're going with the tricky stuff. They've tried a couple of reverses, and none have worked. Their offense has just been somewhere else today, either because of the cold, but you also must give some credit to New England.
Third down and 26, and this will be one of the last plays that the Seahawks will have it with the wind at their back. Play whistle dead at the snap of the ball. Markers down deep in the secondary.
Well, I don't know what the Seattle team record is for the least number of first downs, but this is my candidate. 2 to this point. 2 first downs to this point. There's 14 seconds to go in the third quarter. This is off a tremendous offensive performance last week against the Los Angeles Raiders. It's not worked today.
Say these teams can function extremely well when it's just cold, but when the wind is blowing, it's punishing.
Yeah. And interesting, I think 2 members of the Seattle Seahawks offensive line played in at minus 59-degree temperature in Cincinnati. Blair Bush was the center, and Mike Wilson was the offensive tackle for the Bengals in 1981 in that game.
Third down and 31. Kreig stands in, loops it up the middle to John L. Williams. Trying to turn it to the outside. Ernest Gibson chases him out of bounds.
Now there's a prevent defense deployed by the New England Patriots that worked.
That was a smart move by John L. Williams. He got out of bounds so that his team would have the wind at its back when they punt. Just 5 seconds left in the quarter. John L. does it all. Very quiet gentleman off the field. All business when it comes to hitting people. You don't hit him, he hits you.
Not today, though. Last week, both Warner and Williams over 100 yards rushing. Today, Seahawks have 2 first downs.
Ruben Rodriguez stands in, hits the ball, a low spot, but look at it carry over Irving Fryer's head. Now Irving takes it on the run. And he has nothing but problems as the Seahawks will have the New England Patriots pinned back at their 11-yard line to start this drive. That's the end of the third quarter. Score, Patriots 13, Seahawks 7. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. Good day for sled dogs in New England. Bitter cold. And now the Seattle Seahawks defense will be hunting the football. They've been successful twice earlier in getting it from New England Patriots, but they need a big defensive play, Trump.
You're right, because the Seattle offense in this half has 1 first down, and that was the touchdown reception by Ray Butler. They have 2 for the game, Don, so it is up to the Seattle defense to get the turnover here.
Flutie and the Patriots will run the ball, and the clock, John Stevens takes it to the 11-yard line. A first-round draft choice from Northwestern State in Louisiana. Darren Como, an inside linebacker, made the stop. Defensively for the Seahawks, Jacob Green and Alonzo Mitz are defensive ends right now. Bryant's been in and out. Bryant's back in at right end.
Bruce Schultz is out, too. I believe he got dinged in the head, and M.L. Johnson is in there at linebacker.
Mitz comes in as a pass rusher. No gain on that carry. Second down and 10. Right back to Stevens. Not a whole lot there as they try the right side of the Seattle defense, or Bob Perryman carries it.
New England going to be very, very careful with this football now. They don't want to give Seattle any kind of advantage here, turning the ball over on this part of the field. Wind at their back. There you see Grogan, Eason. They're all calling the plays, and now Reggie Dupart comes into the ball game for New England.
Last time these two teams played, Seattle scored 17 unanswered points in a 1 minute and 38-second span of the fourth quarter to come from behind and win 38-31. That was a warm September day. This is a bitter cold December day as Flutie throws and makes the connection out to the 20-yard line. Reggie Dupart out of the backfield, very close to a first down. The third down throw, though, appears to be just short. David Wyman made the stop short of the first down.
Now, he's not going to be close to the first down. He's almost a yard and a half short. You can see Flutie's looking at those underneath running backs all the time. Just hopefully they can break that first tackle, but Wyman does get Dupart down, so Feagles has to punt.
Believe it or not, where they spotted, he's not even a foot short.
Well, I didn't think he got that. That was a pretty kind spot. You know, I think if I'm Seattle here, I got to try to go after this punt. You need a turnover. You need a big play of some sort, Don.
Bobby Joe Edmonds, the lone man back. They do set up a return. A very high, long punt by Feagles with the wind with him. Edmonds makes the reception and loses the ball, but it's down. It'll be Seattle's ball at the Seahawks' 26-yard line. '54-yard punt. And now a Let's see what the Seahawks can do on offense.
Don, watch once again when Bobby Joe Edmonds catches this ball. Does he have complete possession of it? Now, the ground can't cause a fumble, but there can be some discussion as to whether or not he ever had control of it. Anyway, Seattle ball.
Now the Hawks go into the wind. 12:41 to play in the game. Seattle down to New England 13-7. Warner gets ahead on a first down carry for a gain of about 3 out to the 29-yard line. Seattle, through 3 quarters of play, had a total offense of 47 yards. Just 2 first downs in the entire game, only 10 yards rushing. And yet the Seahawks are very much in the game.
Warner had 130 yards rushing Monday night. He has 9 yards rushing today.
Kreig hands off. John L. Williams gets a lot of thrust from the right side of his offensive line. Mike Wilson and Brian Millard firing out. They give him some room to run. He's close to the 35-yard line. The 3rd and short now. 3rd and just over a yard.
Seattle now going with 2 tight ends. Both Spagnuolo. Well, Spagnuolo comes in here now in this short yardage situation. And Tice. We also have Tommy Agee, who was in the ball game.
3rd and just over a yard. Big down. Patriots jump into a gap defense. Here's a fly over the top. He didn't get there, didn't they? The spot is short. The Patriots hold. Kurt Warner went over the top, and Fred Marion, who made a big tackle behind the line of scrimmage early in the game when he came up to play the run, goes over the top and meets Kurt Warner and Marion, and the Patriots win, and Seattle has to punt the ball into the wind.
This wasn't even close. Look at that. Fred Marion hit him in the air. He had no chance whatsoever. Not even close. This is an offense that last week rushed for 247 yards.
Deep man Irving Fryer. He can go the distance. End over end punt again by Rodriguez. Fryer lets it roll.
Very smart.
Yeah, he had a fumble punt in the last 5 minutes of that Colt game. It was decisive. Bitterly disappointed after that. Patriots with a 6-point lead get the ball in a moment.
You can see the bad news today. In that game in 1979, the Seahawks rushed for 23 yards and had 1 first down. Today they have 2 first downs.
Doug Flutie has hit 5 of 10 passes for 47 yards. On this windy day, he's been intercepted once. That by Darren Como. Now they go to the run. Robert Perryman takes the ball on a first down carry for the Patriots, and he's just to the 26-yard line. Seattle shuts it down. Moyer, one of the safeties, came up, helped force the run down.
Now Seattle is cheating their defensive backs up to the line of scrimmage there. I think you can hit a quick out here or a little slant pass that's going to go for a long distance if you want to take the chance, Don. That's a big if.
Well, there's been some almost magical moments, only to have one little hitch. Bobby Joe Edmonds was on his way to the end zone when Garcia, after kicking off, lunged at him and got him by the ankle just enough to trip him up. Stevens runs on 2nd down and 9, and he gets to the 30-yard line where he's tackled by nose tackle Joe Nash, 72.
Well, again, right side, right behind Wooten and Armstrong. And he's approaching 1,000 yards now.
Cincinnati extending its lead over San Diego. Bengals could end up with home field in the AFC. Buffalo still losing at Tampa Bay. Bills Bruce sacked Vinny Testaverde in the end zone. A lot of time left in the 3rd quarter. Colts out in front of Miami 28-14, and with Mouse Davis of run and shoot fame running the Lion offense for the first week, putting up a lot of points on Green Bay. 3rd down and about 4. Flutie stands in. He has a problem, and Flutie wisely doesn't put it up into coverage, eats the ball. He'll let his punting team try to pin Seattle back.
Now, there's an interesting thing that I noticed Seattle is doing. Watching this last play, watch David Wyman. He's there to spy on Doug Flutie so he can't run for the first down. Now, watch what happens. Wyman stays right there to watch Flutie so that Flutie can't run. And, of course, there's nobody open. Flutie is sacked. Eventually, I think Seattle's got to go after one of these punts.
And they set up the return. Very high, long punt with the wind behind him. Fiegels drives it down to Bobby Joe Edmonds. He's treble, and Edmonds gets it out across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Marker down. It's down back upfield. Maybe somebody left early for New England.
Face mask against New England. And you're right, there is one up the field farther.
Game clock stopped with 8:36 to play. If this score should hold up and Seattle should lose, the Seahawks would go to 7-7. The Patriots to 8-6. It's still a playoff long shot. If the Raiders should ever beat Denver on their home field, there would again be a three-way tie in the AFC West. Three clubs at 7-7. If the Raiders should beat the Broncos, Broncos would be in excellent position if they should beat the Raiders today.
I remember that division several years ago. I think Seattle was at one time 12-4 and didn't go to the play, or went as a wild card. And one year Denver at 11-5 didn't go to the playoffs.
11-5.
He was a block. Number 33 on the receiving team. Brady's offset. We re-kick it fourth down.
There's Mosi Tutupu grabbing the face mask, offsetting penalties. They'll do it again.
The wind has set up since this morning. Mother Nature playing through New England. Howling winds.
This Seahawk team used to be big at blocking punts and stuff. I'm surprised they haven't tried one today.
Fiegels hits another good one. Edmonds now takes it at his 25. Caught, dropped at the 33-yard line. Jim Bowman comes down to make the special teams. A 50-yard punt, a 9-yard return. And Seattle down by 6 gets the ball in a moment. This is Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy back at Foxborough. Big disparity in yardage and possession today. New England with a big advantage and a 6-point advantage on the scoreboard with 8:25 to play.
Last week, Seahawks had the ball for 41 of the 60 minutes against the Raiders. What a difference a week makes. A short week at that.
What a difference the weather makes. Kreig throws while he's hit and gets it to John L. Williams, who's out to the 42-yard line. Terrific play by Dave Kreig and by Williams. Raymond Claiborne made the play. Kreig almost sacked. Brings up 2nd down and 2.
Now, the Seahawks pretty much have to disregard the weather, the wind, and everything and go like they're playing indoors. Use every play in their playbook to try to get this done. Andre Tippett almost makes the sack. Kreig has 9 completions and 5 have been to John L. Williams.
Williams again hit hard as he drives near to the first down, but not quite there. 3rd down and less than a yard coming up as Johnny Rembert, an inside linebacker, 52, and Tim Goad, the rookie nose tackle from North Carolina, made the tackle.
And let's give this Goad kid a lot of credit. He's been a big part of why the Seahawks have been unable to run today. That time he stands up Edwin Bailey and is there to make the tackle. This kid is an all-rookie nose tackle for the New England Patriots.
4th-round draft choice when a pro scout went to North Carolina. Weighed him, was going to test him. Goad said, "Can you measure?" I thought he was a wise guy and left.
Big mistake by that scout.
Patriots drafted him in the 4th round. He's played like a first-rounder. 3rd and less than a yard. Williams stuck. He's not there again. Delivers Ed Reynolds, a big running linebacker from Virginia. Shot the gap, keying on John L. Williams all the way. And they're sending out their punter. They'd be really conceding the game if they didn't get there on a 4th down try at this point.
Ed Reynolds is untouched. He is right there as John L. Williams gets the ball. There are just too many people at the line of scrimmage for the Seattle offense to account for. And I can't believe that Seattle is going for the punt here.
Well, the up back could be the man. They could go. There's no up back right now. They got everybody up close. Now Williams drops back.
I'd be very wary if I'm New England here.
New England set to play the run. They're going to punt it. Rodriguez stands in and hits a good punt into the wind. Fryer back at his 15-yard line. Fair catches the ball. So with 6:10 to go, Patriots get it back, leading by 6. Now let's go to NFL Live. Gail?
All right, Don, thank you. At Tampa Bay, the Bucks, big defensive play as they stop the Bills, leading 10-2. 4th and goal inside the 1. Rob Riddick is stopped by Eugene Marv and Irvin Randall. The Bucks still lead 10-2. Let's go back to Foxborough.
Wow. Eugene Marv, a former Buffalo Bill.
That's right.
Tampa upsetting Buffalo.
To winning the division a couple of weeks ago, the Bills have now looked like a playoff team. Blasted at Cincinnati last week, losing at Tampa Bay this week. 6:10 to go as the Patriots go right back to their ace, John Stevens, and he takes it to the 24-yard line.
That's got to put him over 1,000 yards. Came into the game needing 93. That's 28 carries, 97 yards. Congratulations, John Stevens. Barry Taylor and Robinson make the tackle.
Second down carry is good for a first down to the 27-yard line. Bob Perryman, the big back from Michigan, gets a
Well, this
critical now with the clock running.
This time of possession for New England, yards gained by New England. The defense of the Seahawks, which is really their weakness, been on the field all day long, Don. And I harken back to that penalty that was called on Tony Woods. It basically produced the last touchdown by New England. Really turned. Nash has got 8 tackles and 1 assist today. He's done his job.
Perryman again breaks it.
Whoa.
Gets out across the 35-yard line on a first down carry. Knocked down on the play by Darren Como. As right now, Seattle is really up against it. 4:25 to play. The Patriots controlling the ball. Wind at their back. The Seahawks needing to get into the end zone. Down by 6.
They're just blowing them off the line of scrimmage.
First, they need to get the ball. They're the 1,000-yard rushes over the years for New England. Jim Nance, Sam Bam Cunningham, Tony Collins, who's fallen on grave times indeed. Out of the league on a drug suspension. He was hospitalized over the weekend in Indianapolis after he went into a drug-induced seizure from an overdose of cocaine. Handoff goes to Perryman. Gets out to the 40-yard line, and he gets a first down. And unless the Seahawks can force a turnover, they're going to have an awful big problem winning this game. Patriots hanging in playoff contention. They'll go to 8-6 with a win, but still need help.
Flutie's only thrown the ball twice in the second half. 1 for a complete for 5 yards. But this is 1940 football. Might as well be the single wing.
That's how the day started. And of course, in the NBC Sports doubleheader, it'll be the Raiders hosting the Denver Broncos. Coming up next, Stevens has excellent speed as he runs again on first down. He ran the 2:20 as a collegiate in about 21.5 seconds. Darren Miller made the stop, extra backer. And now the Seahawks are reduced to calling timeouts to try and stop the clock. Jets also at Kansas City. Some of you will be seeing that today.
You wonder if you're a Seattle fan and playing last Monday night and traveling across the country. The Seahawks travel on Friday. Very short week playing in this cold weather. Just 2 first downs for the entire game. This was an awful performance by the Seahawks offense. I'm sure Seattle would let you watch this one. I'm not sure that they'd want this one.
Second down and 6 now for Flutie and the Patriots. Back to the run. Stevens breaks it. Inside the 40 and down to the 35-yard line. And he stayed in bounds. Eugene Robinson, the free safety, hauled him down. Now a fight breaks out.
Paul Moyer and Robert Perryman. That's a little bit of frustration on the part of Seattle.
Both these teams with new owners. The new owner of the Seattle Seahawks, Victor Kiam, the owner of the New England Patriots. Behring has expressed Super Bowl aspirations within 3 years.
John Stevens now 30 carries, 122 yards. He breaks right through the line of scrimmage. You see there's a predetermined move by the defense. They go inside. Darren Miller gets engulfed. And then Stevens showing good foot speed. Robinson hanging on to him, finally gets him down. That's a 21-yard run.
So the Patriots hit Seattle at the Seahawks' most vulnerable point, stopping the run. One rookie back today with 121 yards rushing. John Stevens has been the man. 2:29 to play, and the clock starts.
Now Chuck Knox and his team got to fly back to Seattle and wonder what the Raiders and Denver are doing. Well, they've had the situation in their hands and just basically let it get away from them here today, Don.
First down and 10, New England. Perryman cut down. Ken Clark, a backup nose tackle, made the stop.
Seattle calls another timeout.
Let's go right there. 17, Dallas 14.
Chuck Knox in his 6th year as the head man of Seattle. There have been reports about him possibly going to Detroit. And later reports that will not happen. It looks like Wayne Fonts, who got the head job, who's going to be 2-1 as the head coach of the Lions. After today's play, the Lions are blowing out Green Bay. Will stay there, and Chuck Knox still with 3 years to go on his contract at Seattle. Knox originally went to the head coaching ranks as an assistant at Detroit, went to the Los Angeles Rams as the head man. Raymond Berry across the way spent many years as an assistant coach, the Hall of Fame receiver of Baltimore Colt fame. He's taken a team to the Super Bowl. The '85 Patriots were disassembled by the Chicago Bears January day in New Orleans.
Now you watch the sideline with New England, you wonder who the coach is there, Raymond Berry or Steve Grogan. Raymond is very, very passive, stands there, hands in pockets, and has little conversations with people, but Grogan is the one that's orchestrating the offense.
Been a lot of speculation, as you know, Trump, that they'd go to backup quarterback Tony Eason, who was the starter before Flutie. Flutie didn't move the team, but Flutie's been in there all the way. Big hits being put on by the Seahawks as they try to free the ball. Darren Como made a pop, and also one of the safeties, Moyer, came up. And this will wind it down to the 2-minute warning with third down coming up.
Seattle's going to have one more chance at this ball.
But they've got to throw and throw deep into the wind. The odds are not good for the Seahawks with 2 minutes in the game. And the Patriots in the lead 13-7. They're up and cheering in New England, where the Patriots are holding to a 13-7 lead with 2 minutes to play in the game. A bitter cold day in New England with the wind still blowing hard. Temperature down in the 20s, and the winds have gusted from 18 to 40 miles an hour throughout the game. Chuck Knox and the Seahawks. Third down comes up for New England. Third down and 4.
I Actually, it's 3rd down and 14, Don.
Or 14, excuse me.
What Seattle has to do now is stop this 3rd down play, and I don't think New England will try anything fancy. Flutie on a run, maybe, and then block the punt.
Rolling out. He's in trouble. Flutie goes to a halt at the 45-yard line.
All right, now, wait a minute. Now, he goes inside 2 minutes. That stops the clock.
That's right.
That's a bad move by Doug Flutie. That's a very bad move. They'll restart it. Now, it really gave Seattle about 8 or 10 seconds there. So now they have to block the punt and then let it all hang loose. We're going to see the New England prevent defense here.
Patriots in no hurry. Seattle has to get it in the end zone, and they have a long way to go when they get the ball unless they block the punt.
New England can't stop the clock. They'll let it run all the way down. They'll take the 5-yard penalty. No hurry. Time is their ally.
So the 5-yard mark off. Raymond Berry and everybody else will be happy to get into the locker room. There is the report card for the Seahawks. Kreig hit that 127-yard throw for the touchdown to Raymond Butler. Running game wasn't there today on a day that they had to have it.
They failed. They sent him to the room on that report card.
Jeff Fagels, who punted for a national championship team in Miami of Florida, ready to hit the ball. Bobby Joe Edmonds is back deep. Here's the big rush. Fagels takes his time, hits a very high punt. Coverage is down under, waiting for it. It takes a Patriot roll and out of bounds inside the 20. So the Seahawks will have to go from their 17-yard line after that 32-yard punt, but it was much better than the yardage. No chance for a return. How about John Stevens as an MVP?
Yeah, and look at the defensive numbers there. Seattle 67 total yards. To win this game, they got to go 84.
And they've got to go into the wind for those 84 yards to do it as the gusts continue. Patriot fans up and cheering, making the count call difficult for Kreig. Throw, not close. And Kreig picks after he releases the ball. He was hit hard by Garen Veras. Dave Kreig slow getting up.
Veras really unloaded on him. Here's the games remaining.
Seattle home to play Denver next, then goes against the Raiders at Los Angeles. Denver with a couple of road games to close out the season. And then they come home to play the New England Patriots on that final Saturday game.
Yeah, Raiders have 2 home games. Denver 2 away games.
Raiders and Denver are coming up next on most of these NBC stations as the doubleheader game. 2nd down and 10. Kreig cocks and fires. He wasn't close. Wrong side of John L. Williams. 59 seconds left, and hope running out for the Seahawks.
Patriots getting good pressure up front, running a lot of games, stunts. Veras that time. He didn't flush Dave Kreig, but at least got in his face. Ronnie Lepet was there with John L. Williams, but the ball was thrown way behind the receiver. If they don't make a first down here, they're going to play this game and have 2 first downs total for their offense. Seattle's last 5 possessions, 3 plays and out.
Raymond Butler, who caught the TD pass, is the second man up from the bottom of your screen. Kreig takes a look. Lets her go. He again throws it in. That looked like it came in on the 1 hop.
Did.
But wisely, John L. Williams runs with it after he scoops it up like a shortstop until somebody tells him it's no good.
He did not have very good protection there. Well, they're down to their last play, and Dave Kreig is trying to encourage his offensive line as best he possibly can. What a performance by the New England Patriots defense today.
For the Seahawks, any chance they have comes down to this play. 4th down and 10. They're behind 13-7. Did you see the game clock? 53 seconds to play.
Tipped. Complete.
So the Seahawks will fall to 7-7 with 2 to play, and the Patriots will go to 8-6. They're still alive.
That ball was either tipped right at the line of scrimmage or came right out of Dave Kreig's hand. He's going through the gestures like the ball was tipped, but he's also missed some receivers today that have been open.
Which isn't hard to do today.
No. Certainly no question who our MVP is, though.
He's a guy.
100 yards rushing today, over 1,000 yards for the season.
They ran him 31 times, John Stevens, for 121 yards. And so as the clock ticks out, it's time for the Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser. Today's MVP is John Stevens from the New England Patriots. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's games. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Michael Weissman. The coordinating producer of NFL football, Ted Nathanson. The producer of today's game, Kenneth Edmondson. The director, Andy Rosenberg. NFL Live, produced by Tom Roy and Ricky Diamond. The coordinating producer of NFL Live, John J. Filippelli. Our statistician today, Elliot Keld. Spotters, Joe Peruski and Greg Madden. Also assisting in the booth, Bill George and Bob Ovaginian. Dave Kreig's best effort was not good enough.